the one and only. Let's hear from Abdel Bari Atwan. Abdel Bari, the President of the United States, has called on Netanyahu to extend the ceasefire. Do you think that Netanyahu has any choice but to accede to the president's wishes?
Well, I hope so. You know, Hamas, which considered in the eyes of President Biden and Netanyahu as another Daesh, as they call it, you know, they were actually expressed their wish to extend this truce for another week, another 2 days, another whatever. So they are willing to negotiate. They are willing to actually extend not only for 2 days or 1 week, maybe a month or so, in order to save the lives of both sides, the Israeli and the Palestinian. But the problem is, I have my own doubt whether Netanyahu will listen to his master, Joe Biden, in Washington. It is a question mark here. The Americans are involved in this war. They sent 2,000 Marines to Gaza or to Israel to fight the Palestinians there. Israel cannot or pretend it cannot protect itself, so they need the American help. They need the American warplanes. They need the American, arms, everything. So I hope this actually truce will be extended. Our people suffered a lot. More than 15,000 innocent civilians were massacred by the Israeli warplanes. Well, more than 35,000 to 40,000 of people are injured, and they don't find hospital to be treated. The hospital ran out of all medical materials. So doctors actually used to practice operations on their actually injured people by the light of their mobiles. So this is the the Israeli who pretend themselves are the ambassadors of the Western civilization in the Middle East, the only democracy on the Middle East. Only democracy actually is bombing hospital. I read the history very well. I never seen that a war, or any part of a war, bombing the hospitals, killing the ill people, throw them out of their incubator. So this is the problem we are facing. You, George, you call Gaza Strip is a cage. You used to call them as, for 17 years, they are actually a blockade imposed on them. And they don't find the simple elements of decent life or decent food. I'll give you one example. I lost at least 25 to 30 of my families in Gaza. They were bombed, and we don't know where are they. We can't find a lot of their bodies, maybe under the rubble. So, and also all Gazan people are losing their friends, their members of their families, their cousins, their nieces. So this is the problem. And nobody is paying attention for this. Nobody. And I'll give you one example. And I hope your people, I have a cousin. He got 50 people in his house, which is 3 bedrooms, and only one actually toilet. Imagine that. You can see, and there is no electricity, there is no water, nothing at all. There is no food for children. Children spend all the night crying because there is no food for them. And the warplanes actually always in the sky and waiting to bomb. And imagine that the F-15, when they break the atmosphere there, imagine that they are horrible. The sound, horrible sound there. So the children are frightened, scared to death because of this. And the Israeli now saying, no, we will go back and we will destroy Gaza. We will destroy until Hamas actually completely destroy. No, then the past, they said to the Gazan, go to the south. If you want to save your life, go to the south. Now they are preparing to bomb the south, to bomb them in south. They don't want Palestinians at all in Gaza. They want to take Gaza because of its oil. There's gas there. There's a huge wells of gas and reserves of oil. So they want to kick the Palestinians out and take Gaza. That's their plan. And also, you mentioned, George, Thank you very much. You mentioned the West Bank and the massacres the Israeli committing in the West Bank, and we know that there is no Hamas in the West Bank. And despite of that, at least every day there is 10, 20, sometimes more than that, killed by the Israeli. Why do you kill them? They kill them, and especially people in the refugee camps, like Jenin, like Balata and Nablus. So why they are doing that? Because they want to transfer them to Jordan. They want actually to send them to Jordan, as you mentioned, because the Israeli consider Jordan is Palestine. There is nothing called Palestine. So the situation, honestly, is so bad. And I'm really, I can't talk to my friends because there is, and to my family, there is no internet. Yeah, it is rarely to have maybe half an hour or to 15 minutes of the telephone or internet so they can call us. This is the problem. And I don't, honestly, when they call me, I feel scared, because it will be bad news. They will tell me your cousin there is killed, your niece there is killed. So this is the problem. Always bad news, and the destruction of Gaza continue. 50% of the Gazan house were destroyed by the Israeli warplane. 50% of them, and the people they don't have the equipment in order to dig and save people, even the bodies under the rubble. Imagine that. They cannot see their loved one and their bodies, and they cannot actually stay in hospitals. Have you seen anybody bombing the hospital, a Shifa hospital? They said Hamas has, tunnels under the hospital, and they bombed it. And after that, Ehud Barak, the Israeli prime minister, said, no, it is not Hamas which dig tunnel under the hospital. We, the Israeli, did it. So imagine that, a lot of lies, a lot of propaganda in order to dehumanize the Palestinians, not only Hamas, but even civilian Palestinian. So it is actually a very, very drastic situation, brother George.
The political program of the ruling party, the Likud party, is from the river to the sea. That phrase that gets you arrested in many countries, including our own. From the river to the sea is their policy in their party program. But they mean from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea is all theirs. Now this has found a powerful new ally in the winner of the Netherlands general election, Geert Wilders. This is obviously good news, and it's quite rare for Netanyahu to get any good news, but he now has an ally, the victor right in the heart of the European Union. How possible would it be for the West Bank, the entire West Bank, to be ethnically cleansed into Jordan? And what would the consequences for Jordan be? And would they be to the advantage of the Western governments, do you think?
It is very dangerous. This is, from the river to the sea, this is smaller Israel. But the bigger Israel is to reach Euphrates in Iraq, and also to take Saudi Arabia, part of Saudi Arabia, especially in Medina and Mecca. So this is their plan, original plan. Those radical Israelis, or the Likud, who are governing Israel now, and supposed to be, as I said, the only democracy on the Middle East. Now, if they, I believe there are a plan to transfer the Palestinian from the West Bank to Jordan. And it is approved by the Likud party. And it is their strategy in the coming few weeks, maybe through months. We don't know yet. This killing in the West Bank in order to terrorize the people and say to them, okay, if you want to live, like what they said to Gaza, what they said to the northern Gaza, if you want to save your life, you have to immigrate to the south. You have to go to the south and take, I'm not allowed to take anything. Just go. And they, shoot some of them in order to prove that they are serious in their killing people. Now, the same thing is happening in the West Bank. They actually want to send the Palestinians to Jordan. And the Jordanian government is aware of that. I met King Abdullah in London and also in Amman several times. And he told me, if they transfer the Palestinians to Jordan, I will go to war. I will actually try to stop it by force. This is the only choice for me. I cannot have 2-3 millions in Jordan. There is no oil in Jordan. There is no industry in Jordan. There is nothing. There is no materials. So, there is no water. There is no enough water even for the Jordanians who are living now. And they have at least 2 million Syrian immigrants on Jordan. So he said to me, honestly, I will go to war. I will prevent this by force. I will do my best. This is the only choice for me. So I think the Israeli are making the whole of the Middle East, in war. It's a battle and make it, to kill people. So look what happened in Gaza could be repeated in South Lebanon or in Lebanon itself. They said several times, we will actually return Lebanon to the Stone Ages. Several, this is the defense minister, Gallants. He said that clearly. I will destroy Lebanon completely as the way we destroyed Gaza. Beirut will be another Gaza very soon. And the same thing, Amman will be another Gaza. Those people, they don't have any morality. They don't have any sympathy. Unbelievable. That I'm surprised, how those people, those hostages who were released by Hamas, they were raising the Palestinian flag. Saying, we were treated in the best way, in a very human way. They never actually harassed us. They treat us nicely. They give us enough food. They give us, they bring doctor to check our health. So this is Hamas, which is supposed to be a terrorist organization, while the Israeli, who represent the Western values in the Middle East, are killing people. And most of the people who were released by the Israeli, women and children, they said we were harassed, we were tortured. We were deprived of everything. One of the ladies who were released, she was burned nearly to death by the Israeli, and they never treated her on the prison. So this is the difference. So what I want to say that, this kind of transfer, if it has happened, it will be a war. The whole Middle East will be dragged to this war. It's very seriously. Now we can see this war enlarged, expanded. Yemenis are now attacking, Israeli ships on the Red Sea, and they could close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which is in the mouth of the Red Sea. So, are the Israeli, will be left to do this? What about the American? What about the British government? And you mentioned how they are actually attacking people because they raise the flag of Palestine or, the Kufiya or something like that. And they're storming houses simply because they think they are Hamas supporter or even, sympathize with the Palestinian cause. This is the problem. George, I've been in this country for 45 years. I came here not as a political asylum seeker. I came to work as a journalist with a work permit. I never imagined in my life, in 45 years of my life, that, freedom of expression will be actually mopped out completely. I wouldn't believe the BBC will take this position, or that Sky News, or the first thing they say to people, to their guests like me, you must condemn Hamas. Before you open your mouth, you have to condemn Hamas. The other day I was invited to a radio program, and, there were 3 Israelis against me. And they kept interrupting me. They don't want me to talk. I said to the presenter, is this a professionalism you were actually lecturing us about in journalism? So I feel very sorry, George.
Well, we feel very sorry too. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.